What's going on, guys? It is Jamie and welcome to the channel Thrift on Fire. Today on the channel we're going to be talking about shipping, so let's get started. So let's talk about shipping. One of the first things I would say is you need one of these. This is a small solutions or business, what's it called? Solutions for small business card. Mine's a little bit dirty. If you can see, it spends a lot of time in my wallet. This one signed up just under my eBay store name. I had a personal one before. How do you get one of these things and what does it do for you? Well, first of all, it gives you discounts based on the amount of items that you sell. So the more items you sell, the bigger discounts you get. But there's no reason not to have one. So let me just pull up Canada Post and show you where you would find it. This is just the Canada Post website. I am signed into my account, but all we would do is we'd go over to the business tab here. Then we're going to scroll down until we see right here. So right here, we're going to see free shipping Tuesdays are back. I believe this is continuing into November as well. So what we want to do is sign up. Now, like I said, I already have the card. So you're going to join here, I believe. And, you know, what's going to happen is they're going to give you this little code. I'm going to cover mine up and they will send you a card like this in the mail. And then it is linked to your Canada Post account. So if you're already buying labels online, it should automatically link to your account and you're gonna get the discount right away. And now you're instantly gonna be saving based on different tiers. And there's all kinds of promotions as well. I got this promotion from Canada Post not too long ago. It's an extra 20% off to the end of the year, and it's just to thank small businesses, especially people who live in rural areas. So on top of my discount, I'm also getting an extra discount. So for me personally, this extra discount, when you guys are buying labels through Canada Post, you're probably getting that gas surcharge price. For me, that sort of eliminates that right now to the end of the year. After that, I'm going to be paying that as well, so I might have to readjust my shipping. Next up, I wanted to talk about Swiftpost. Now, I've been using Swiftpost now for a few months, and I really like it. Now, the difference is the same t-shirt you would ship in Canada for roughly, $13 to $18 with, like I said, with the discount card and the extra 20% right now, or gas surcharge prices, which makes it confusing. Hopefully those go away or go down a little bit. A regular t-shirt might cost me in Canada, like I said, $13 to $18 roughly. Now with Swiftpost, that same t-shirt almost anywhere across the US is going to ship for about $7. It's actually like $6.98. Give you an idea, I believe this right here is a t-shirt right here. I will cover up the address. So what happens, I'm close to Buffalo, New York. So this gets shipped from Swiftpost, which is a drop-off center, to Buffalo, New York. It is, I'm just making sure there's no address on here. It is United States Postal Service. So it gets shipped to United States Postal Service from here to Buffalo, and then gets distributed normally. So I don't know exactly through USPS what this would cost, but obviously not that much. If they can basically run it across the border for those type of rates, we're getting a pretty good deal there. So that's how much drastically different it is to ship from Canada and the US. So now with Swiftpost in particular, anything under a pound, I can do that $7 roughly price. For anything over a pound, which usually includes shoes, all the way up to, I'm gonna say like jackets, jeans, things like that, things that are just a little bit heavier, more bulky, it's about $15 Canadian. Now, if I was shipping that to the US with Canada Post, it would probably be about $20 to $25 easily to the US, so there's some pretty good savings there as well. This is also came in really handy with video games. So with video games, obviously we talked before on this channel about shipping them with stamps. To the US, you can't do that anymore, so you could ship them Canada Post airmail, which is only about $10, which isn't too bad, but there's no tracking. But with a company like Swiftpost, if it's available in your area, that is, you can do it for about $7 again, and there's going to be tracking. So it's a pretty huge, benefit for sellers. You're covered with the tracking, and it's a little bit cheaper. Now, these are the two main options I really use these days. Canada Post has just been solid for me. If we're talking about Poshmark, it's normally Canada Post, but buyer pays and you get the label, so I'm not really doing the shipping there. They just send you the label in the mail. With eBay, most of my Canadian stuff has been going Canada Post. The odd one will go Canpar, so through Swiftpost, you can ship Canpar, and heavy items seem to be cheaper through Canpar. With Swiftpost and some of these companies that go cross borders, they might not be available in your area. So for instance, I checked out a few more. I'll show you them in a second here. But Swiftpost has 2 drop-offs near me. One's about 15 minutes, and the other one is in the town that I currently work in. So when I go to work, I can just take my mail with me. The only thing that's really changed is I don't find myself going to my local post office now. I go into one of those 2 towns because that's where I'm dropping off the rest of my mail. So Swiftpost, you can check them out, see if there's a location near you. There's plenty of locations in Ontario. I don't know how far they've branched out through Canada, but check them out. Now I'll show you a few more options that are very similar. So all you have to do is check out these options and see if they're available in your area. And these are I'm only going to show you 3 or 4. There's probably 20. These are just a few that I know that are very, very highly regarded and I think are safe to use. So let me show you what they are. So this one right here is called Stallion Express, and I've actually used this quite a bit. Just before I really knew how to ship with Swiftpost a ton, and I was trying to figure out prices. So what I would do here, I would just go down here, and we all know one area code in the US, 90210, right? How silly is that? But it works every time. So let's say we have a parcel, and it's gonna weigh in pounds. Let's say it weighs just under a pound, so 14, I guess that'd be ounces, right? So get the price. It's gonna come back with the price for us. What is it gonna be? I'm gonna guess it's gonna be $5. So here's some options. UPS first class mail. It says 2 to 4 business days, $3.64. So that's huge. So this would be like video games and small items like pins and patches and really cheap items you could ship like that. Video games generally would fit under this as well, and actually a lot of times t-shirts would as well fit under the 1 pound. So this one is US Express, Economy US, so like I said, around the $5, so about $6. So me charging $7, that kind of gives me a little fluctuation. Plus Swiftpost is just a little more expensive. The closest Stallion Express to me, which is what this company is in London, Ontario, which is, I go to the Goodwill bins in London, once or twice a month. But it still is about an hour away from me. So maybe when I go full time, I'd ship with these guys. If I knew I was going to the bins, maybe I would ship that morning with a Stallion just to see what kind of rates I can get. But currently I don't use it, but I do check out their rates quite often. So this one is Parcel Select Ground, $16. It just gets more expensive, right? But these are the shipping options. So for me, I probably would pick this one. First class probably would be okay too. I don't know if that has tracking or not. I don't know a lot about United States Postal Service, but this one seems to be pretty decent. Potentially this one as well. So you can kind of do a little research yourself there, but Stallion Express also going to be a good one for you. Now if you live in a big city, this one's fairly popular. I know in the GTA in Toronto, this is a big thing. Chit Chats, and they're all the same. They have drop-off centers, and they run them across the border and ship them with the United States Postal Service. So this one's pretty decent. I've checked out rates. I've signed up for them. Like I said, there's just no drop-off areas near me currently. I believe the nearest one to me again there's a few in Toronto on the way into Toronto, and then I think there's probably one in London, Ontario as well. But once again, it's just too far for me for every day. When I have Swiftpost, even if it is maybe $1 more, it's only 15 minutes for me, or 30 minutes. Now some of these ones too, if you do live in the right area, they'll do home pickup. I don't know if Chit Chats is one of them, but I do know there are quite a few that will do home pickup where they pick them up directly from your porch and you don't worry about it, and you still get the tracking, everything gets scanned, and you're all good. Now this last one called Sendo, I signed up for this one and I haven't been able to use it yet. One of the reasons why I signed up is because I had heard that you can get it picked up at your home, like I just talked about, and I thought, hey, I'll give this a try. But for some reason, I can't get it to work, so I'm gonna have to call customer service, or I sent them a message. I think I'm still waiting to hear back from them, actually. But yeah, this is another solid one. I do know at least 2 people who are using it, and it's working great. And one of the places that this was working, I believe, was in the East Coast. So that's somewhere where you're not going to get a lot of options out there. When you live in Ontario and Quebec, probably you have more options than when you're living. Like Vancouver's probably going to be good, but I'd say the rest of Canada is pretty limited, maybe on some of these places if they're going to have depots in your area. But this is another one, and like I said, they seem to be spreading out through Canada. So I just wanted to make a short video talking about shipping options. I want to do another video in the near future talking a little bit more in detail about maybe weights and sizes and ways to think of things to make it a little easier for yourself. But with shipping it, it's pretty tricky. I think it takes some time to figure out exactly what works for you. And the reason why the flat rate method works for me is because I roughly know what something is going to cost me to ship when I'm packaging it. I can figure out just by feeling that, okay, this is probably going to be under X amount and it's going to fit in this box, and because of past shipping, you kind of know what something might cost. So I kind of ballpark it. I like using flat rates. It's not for everybody. If you're just starting, I wouldn't suggest doing that. I would suggest kind of doing, looking it up, even if you do calculated in Canada Post, or if you use, or if you're using one of these third-party companies, you can use Stallion's little thing, because it's right on the dock. It's on the front page. I like going to that one just because it's simple. But yeah, if you're just starting out, I would definitely kind of try to figure out rates before you try to do something like flat rate shipping. But anyway, guys, thank you guys so much for watching. If you like videos like this, give it a thumbs up. I hope it helped you in some way. Until next time, take care, stay safe. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.